Happy holidays. My name is Ted Nottingham, and on behalf of the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ, it is my pleasure to present to you a very special program, Turning Toward the Light, a conversation with Dr. Charles Ashanin. Dr. Ashanin is a professor of early church history emeritus at Christian Theological Seminary, but more importantly, he is a profoundly spiritual man. Some might say a mystic, a lover of God. And in this program, he shares with us the depths and riches of that encounter with the divine, which each of us has the opportunity to experience. We hope that at this special time of year, this program will bless you richly in your effort to open your heart to God. I've discovered that one of the fundamental cornerstones has to do with the very ordinary thing of attention.
Yes.
And that by the fact that they enter into that, they reveal a profound psychological and practical teaching.
Ted, you are absolutely right. This philokalia came out of the experience of the particular attitude or attention to the divine. Because you see, our attention to the divine is very sporadic and formal. And you know, if you gave very sporadic and formal attention to your wife, you never would have had her attention, and therefore you never would have experience out of this given attention, her love for you, which gives meaning to your own life and her life, because you give special attention to each other. So the spirituality is not a question of techniques. It is question of attitudes. It is metanoia, turning around, looking in the direction of the center, which is Christ. And if one is directed towards the center, then out of that relationship to the center, a whole vision of life is changed. You see, when you turn towards the light, and you see what you are doing, you see your world, because the world is illumined by that light, and you know how to function within the world that's illumined. But when you turn yourself away from the light, you are dropping in darkness, and that is why this attention or centering or directing oneself towards the center, living in the light, gives you new understanding, and this is the question of attitude, of posture, of relationship too.
It allows one to, every moment, enter into the presence of God.
Indeed, because God is not occasional giver of himself. He's the sun, the light that illumines us all the time. And the degree to which we are related to this light, which is given to us not for special occasions, but for all the moments of our life. When we live in that light, of course, the sun does not appear and disappear. It always is there. Always is there, and that's why every moment of our lives is, so far as God is concerned, illumined by him. And if we are not illumined by him, it's not his fault. The scripture says he's faithful to himself, and it's not a question of his faithfulness to us. He doesn't turn himself on and off. He is, and I think this Orthodox spirituality teaches one thing, not just Orthodox, but all those who really want to live within the orbit of God's light, and the message is metanoite, or direct yourself towards the light, which for Christians is, of course, Christ is God's light to us.
There is a very special word at the heart of the Philokalia, and that is hesychasm.
Yes. I wouldn't say that I'm a student of mystical experience. I'm a historian, but of course, being an Orthodox Christian, in virtue of my participation in the spiritual life of the Orthodox Church, to which this particular concept is very important, and in one sense one may say central. I ought to know something about it, not only to know something about it, but to say something about it. It's a Greek word which means silence, but it is not just a physical silence. I told you previously how turning to the light and centering on the light and seeing the world in the under the aegis, within the context of this attitude, turning towards the light, which is Christ, there is another aspect of centering or turning or tuning into this center. And this is centering in by way of another attitude, not of turning, but of centering in or tuning in into the silence of God. And out of this silence of God, the silence reveals itself as an inner illumination. And this inner illumination is the sense of being enveloped or being taken into the uncreated energies of God. It demands from us, of course, an attitude of silence. It's not so much understanding of God by the way that He has spoken to us, He has spoken the way that we find it in the scriptures, but the way that He speaks to us, well, we speak to each other more by our nature of our being than anything you say to each other. And it is that knowledge, this deeper knowledge, that makes us friends. We are acquaintances by talking to each other, but we are really only friends when we recognize this unspoken silence in each other, and the quality of the silence determines the quality of our friendship. Spiritually speaking, I'm not talking about friendship as a social kind of category.
Tell me how the prayer of the heart is involved with hesychasm. Is it the way that one enters into that silence? Is it a technique? How do you understand?
The prayer of the heart is, what is heart? Heart is not just a physical organ, although you use that metaphor. The heart is that deepest in us, whatever that deepest in us is, we call it heart. Now, when this deepest in us enters into the mystery of the divine silence, then it constantly invokes that silence or reverberates response to this silence as the two lovers respond to each other. And the prayer of the heart is constantly being engaged into that silence, deep speaking or relating to the deep, love responding to love, and that is the prayer of the heart, that is transcendent other, that is transcendent lover, may never leave us, because Without the beloved, we can't live, can we? Mystics tell us that. And so the prayer of the heart is, beloved, which is God, leave me not. And the heart of God, if we may use that metaphor, says, beloved, I'm all yours. So, but we are talking about Christianity. For one writer that you and I read, Joseph Niedleman spoke, called, what does he call it, what kind of Christianity, the hidden Christianity.
Because he says lost Christianity.
Lost Christianity, but really lost Christianity in the sense that it is not invoked and is only known to few people that he refers to, but really is not lost. Wherever Christ is invoked, this lostness become living reality. So, in one sense, it is lost because it's not used. But it is not lost that it has disappeared. Because God never disappears, does he?
And that brings up the interesting issue of why is it not used today? And that touches on the whole state of Christianity. And perhaps you can show us how the rich and vital heart of the Russian Orthodox Church can help us to use Christianity again.
Indeed, God is holy God, which does not deny his goodness. But his goodness is not God's chief characteristic that we relate to. God is holy. Now, how do one relates to the holiness of God? Holiness of God is his beauty. If his glory. That's why they spend all the spiritual energies in devising way of glorifying him and decorating his sanctuaries with beauty. And Russia is a poor country, but the churches, the gold is not in the treasuries, but on the domes. It is the cosmic vision of God as a holy beauty, which demands from us not only a right ethical attitude, but a sacrifice. Adoration. Adoration. What is adoration? Adoration is giving yourself to the beloved without any conditions. And that's why we don't, this is to us, we are rationalistic people, and the rationalistic people say, God, you may be holy, but we are not prepared to go there. We want to have covenant with you, we want to honor you, we want to do your will. But somebody said, a Russian too, and a mystical person, Archbishop Anthony Blom's books, he said, I always pray, God ask everything from me but not the cross. And that's why we don't know that God, because rationalism say that that's going too far. You cannot live a relationship of love with anybody without having a demand upon your own life of self-sacrifice. And this holy God reveals himself as one who sacrifices himself for us. And this is known not only among the Orthodox, but even among the Protestants, when Protestants had these pietistic or mystical kind of outlook. Because you remember that hymn of Isaac Watts, love so amazing, so divine, demands my life and my all, you see. So you see, when that awareness or that experience comes about, its symbol, its character is expressed in the crucifixion. So the crucifixion is not something imposed. Crucifixion is the revelation of the depth of his self-sacrificial love of God on our behalf, and our response to him in the same kind of attitude.
The Russian Orthodox Church is really unknown to us, I think, because of the cultural differences and the ornaments and rituals that are strange. What I have discovered is that in the heart of the teachings is an insight that is of transforming value to everyone. And I found it especially in the Philokalia.
As you know, Philokalia really came out of the experience of a particular group of people in the Orthodox Church. These are the Orthodox charismatics. These are the ascetics. These are the monastics. These are the people who have risked everything, given everything for Christ. And out of their very intimate relationship through Christ, through self-sacrificing life, these people, these charismatics, these aspects of the Orthodox Church has become for us Orthodox normative. Every Orthodox, truly Orthodox, is a son of Philokalia, or spiritual son of those who wrote Philokalia. And because to us, Philokalia is not some strange mystical book, but this is the essence of the gospel, as gospel should be lived.
It makes me think of John of the Cross, who said that we are meant to be cleansed windows through which the divine sun shines.
Yes.
And Carlfried Graf Durkheim,
yes,
my great favorite, who says that we are meant to become transparent to being.
Indeed, and this is one of the, I don't know where respect for Paul Tillich stands, and he has been criticized in regard to his Christology and his theology. Barth had no time for him. But the amazing thing about Tillich that impressed me is that he, through German idealism, and the German idealism is the philosophical product or counterpart of Christian Platonism of the fathers. He uses such terms as translucent to the ground of being, translucency or transparency. And but what I'm saying is, God within us, God cannot be encapsulated, but God within us is the power of His Spirit, leading us to imitate, to become like Him. And the Father is an eternal and never-ending process. Nevertheless, through this process we become, and through us the universe become truly what was meant God's creation. We human beings are made of matter, and we are made of the divine spirit. It is, human beings are the union of matter, of nature, and divine spirit. And there is this entity, this being called human person. And the human person is the priest in the universe, which means an intercessor between the universe and God, because by virtue of our nature, of our physical nature, by virtue of our being part of the universe, and we are made of chemistry, as you know, but also in virtue of the fact that God's Spirit lives in us and that we are nature, human beings bring nature to God in virtue of affinity with God, and bring God to nature. We have unrestricted then entrance into into creation and into the divine.
That unrestricted entrance is theosis, is
Indeed.
divinization.
Oh, indeed, indeed. I'm glad you used that word. Many people outside of the Orthodox world, and many Orthodox don't understand it. But theosis really means this process, this critique that whereby we are caught into this becoming the sons and daughters of Christ, the sons and daughters of God through Jesus Christ. I might just add a personal note. The other day, 4 years ago, I had open heart surgery, and I was really on the boundaries between earthly and yet being on that boundary, I was aware of a dimension of being that lured me to itself, a notion of love that I want to plunge into, but there was something that was pulling me into existence, which I interpreted to be prayers of my friends, that brought me back into existence. And what I'm saying, that glimpse of transcendence as a love that I saw being on the boundary between these and the life beyond, so to speak, makes me aware that transcendent ocean of love, of goodness, of truth is behind us in our earthly pilgrimage, assisting us to embody within our historical and earthly life enough of that vision to transform existence into its likeness. And this is my hope for the world, and this is why people like you should use the talents to celebrate or to portray or to testify to this kind of vision. That's why the artist should paint its images, why the poets should compose poetry to celebrate this vision, why the musicians should do likewise, and why we, all of us individually, in our earthly life, should share with each other sacramentally something of that vision to ennoble each other's life, the Eucharist of self-sacrificial love of God on behalf of creation, and especially of us human beings whom He loves. I don't understand why, but I know that He does.